everybody. Welcome back to episode 11 of our Hockey Hotline podcast. I'm hockey manager, Great Park Ice, Dave Walker. I'm here with other hockey managers, Dean Wilson and John Meinberger. Today we got another special guest, past Anaheim Junior Duck player, as well as high school hockey player with Santa Margarita Eagles, who's now a member of the Minnesota Golden Gophers Division I college hockey team, Ryan Johnson. Ryan was also a member of the 2018 gold medal U.S. Junior Select Team, winning the World Challenge, Junior A Challenge. And in 2018-2019, Ryan spent the year with the USHL Sioux Falls Stampede, where he helped the team win a Clark Cup championship, also being selected to the all-rookie team, as well, while leading his team in plus-minus. In 2019, Ryan also was selected to play in the USHL NHL Top Prospect game, and that was followed up by this past summer, where he was selected 31st overall in the first round of the NHL entry draft by the Buffalo Sabres. Welcome to the podcast, Ryan.
Yeah, well,
thank you for having me. Thank you.
Walker almost ran out of breath with your whole resume right there. He was getting a little winded.
Yeah. So I guess first thing, how are you staying in shape, and what are you doing in this kind of downtime to keep yourself ready, academically to get back to school, as well as condition-wise to get back on the ice?
Yeah, right. Obviously right now, a lot of home-cooked meals, a lot of families home. So want to keep track of make sure you're eating the right things, putting the right things in your body first off. And then, I've been training about 5-6 times a week. And I've been doing it with my dad. My dad has a platform with a squat rack. So we got dumbbells up to 50 as well, which is pretty fortunate to have. We've been doing that. And my trainer from Minnesota sends me a program, and I've been doing it 5-6 times a week. And then also been rollerblading a little bit and doing some off-ice stuff like shooting pucks. And just been keeping busy training and trying to take care of my body as well, as far as what I put in my body.
Absolutely.
Nice. You got those dumbbells. I mean, if you guys ever get in a pinch, those are hot commodities nowadays. If you ever need to make a little bit of money, those are hard to find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So growing up in California, was hockey always the number one sport for you, or were you drawn to any other sports, or was it hockey from day one for you?
Yeah, hockey was always the main one, but I would play soccer. That'd be like my second sport, I guess, because I'd usually have I'd have a hockey game or something, and I'd have to show up late to a soccer game or something. I wasn't fully committed. And then I also enjoyed baseball. I played baseball up till I was 12 years old. And then so hockey, soccer, baseball. Also played lacrosse, but that was for a couple years, and that was just with actually a group of hockey guys. So that was like our second sport too. So but playing other sports was nice, especially in Southern California with the weather. We could kind of play year-round sports, different types of sports too. So
do you find that playing those other sports really helped at all with hockey when you got back on the ice?
Yeah, I think I notice it now, as far as now I'll be playing basketball, and I'll notice kind of how just the athleticism involved and how it kind of helps your body move and kind of stay active as well is important. Because if you take that away and you don't do let's say you just sit down on the couch or something and you're not very active, you'll feel kind of like that. You'll feel slower. So I think it helped a lot.
Cool. So for people that don't know, you were part of the 01 birth year, and that 01 birth year during the Junior Ducks was a very strong team, not only locally, but was a very strong team nationally. And I know your 16U year, you guys were the number one team in the country pretty much the entire year. A large contingent of that group stuck together for a number of years. And obviously coached by your dad, who's obviously got international and national hockey league experience as well. You have Scott Niedermeyer around as well. Did you guys as a group really understand like maybe how lucky and fortunate you guys were as a group to have coaches like that around and with that knowledge.
Yeah, right, exactly. At the time, you don't realize how kind of special it is until you leave it, or until you have something else the next year where it's different.
Yeah.
So especially having Scott Niedermeyer was Hall of Famer was unbelievable, especially on the bench, and hearing him talk to a young team. He didn't even have to do it, but he still came out. And then having my dad too was really nice. I think his coaching is it's really, really special, and he's good at it too. So, and he's passionate. So I think we're really lucky to have that NHL experience kind of mentoring us and guiding us too. And yeah, it was a special team, and also good group of kids too. But yeah, we were lucky with the coaches for sure.
Hey,
Ryan,
Ryan,
going back.
Oh, you can go, Dino.
Oh, Ryan, going back to we did your credentials and all that. It was pretty awesome. What positions have you played growing up? From squirts, what one have you played the most, and which ones have you played?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So it started. I was forward in mites, and then I think it was maybe my mite A year or something. I got moved back to defense because we didn't have enough D on the team. So ever since then, I just stuck with the position, and I like it a lot. Played lefty, and now this past year I played right D at Minnesota. So it's good to play both, especially on the offhand. So it's just learning kind of.
Are you more of an offensive defenseman?
Yeah. I try to be, but the most important thing is defend first. So
Yeah.
I still got a lot of work on my defending game. So.
Oh, you've been coached well then.
Yeah.
Ryan, to go back to a little bit, you talked about your dad coaching. A lot of kids during their youth hockey journey have their parents sometimes even involved on the bench. What was it like playing for your dad?
Yeah, no, playing for my dad was a really, really cool experience, and just having him on the bench and offering constructive criticism, I would say, was a nice thing, and his care and attention to what I was doing definitely helped me become the player I am today. So I'm lucky, to have him.
Absolutely. I know that I watched a little bit of your Buffalo, and you're a little taken back. We can give a little insight on who you are. You talked about a nickname you got. Want to talk about a little bit what they call you and how that come about, and when did that start?
Yeah. So they still call me Yanni. It's still sticking.
Yeah.
It's kind of a self-made nickname, but
okay.
So just started. My brother on his Instagram just named himself Eric Jansson with the Y, and I guess it's a Swedish thing, and we have a little bit of Swedish in us.
Okay.
So that's the reason why it's Jansson. And then
was this the early on, or is this fairly recently they started?
This was
embarking this
during
image?
Junior Ducks years, so probably about 14s, I'd say.
Okay.
I was called RJ pretty much growing up a lot, and Rye, but now it's Yanni. So.
And has that transferred into your college play? Is that what they call you in the locker room?
Yeah, it stuck well because we have Johnny on our team, so now they could distinguish Johnny from Yanni.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Johnny and Yanni.
Yeah.
Nice. So you obviously have already been part of the international scene. Obviously your dad was part of the Olympics as well. Both of you have had the opportunity to wear your country's colors and jerseys. You were part of the gold medal winning team. How was that experience for you? We had Kayla Burns on here last 2 weeks ago, and we talked about her experience at an international level. And obviously winning a gold medal is always going to be your top kind of memory of it. But what so far in your international journey has been, I guess, your best memory, your fondest memory, aside from winning that gold medal?
Right. Yeah. Being able to just represent your country is really cool, especially playing hockey and playing against other countries and other teams. There's something different about it for sure. And I was lucky to be part of a good team, and we we were able to win it too. So it was definitely special, and it was nice to wear the red, white, and blue.
I know a lot of our listeners, are from, a little bit younger, and they're, starting off their journey. What skills did you focus on in your early development? We've heard that obviously you're a great skater, but what were some of the things that when you were younger, you were like, okay, these are things I really want to focus on and develop to, to possibly be successful in your path?
Yeah, we worked on a lot of, we'd always have lessons. I always saw Mr. Walker on the ice right next to us usually. But it was a lot of
stealing your dad's drills,
stealing our pucks too. But
that's where that bucket got filled, eh?
But so anyway, we a lot of head fakes, a lot of different skills like that you typically use in a game. A lot of deception, skating drills. So I think the hands are really important, but it's kind of emulating what you would do in a game versus just a lot of kids just want to work on toe drags, but like toe drags are good because it's good for a shot too and other things. But I think it's important to work on head fakes where you're actually trying to sell forecheckers coming at you, just beat them and escape. So I think that was helpful, and a lot of other drills too. Just like hands were important, but also skating too.
Absolutely.
So we talked about you winning the gold medal at the Junior A Challenge. I guess the following year, playing in USHL, your first year, and you end up winning a championship there as well. Was that year in the USHL everything you thought or expected it would be at a junior level? Yeah,
no, it was not at all. So we were lucky with our team. And as far as the makeup, we're like the whole team was pretty much brand new. Maybe 2 returners, can't remember exactly. But anyway, the group of guys just came together really well, and we were lucky. A lot of the guys ended up getting drafted, and so we had a lot of talent and a lot of skill. But we also the way we got along in the locker room and off the ice as well was something special. And there's a lot of things that went right for us, especially in playoffs, because playoffs anything could happen. But a lot of kind of crazy moments like overtimes, and we battled through injuries and we had some adversity. And but yeah, we were just like really a lot of fortunate events happened because in overtime it could go either way. But we just kept winning, and it was
well,
pretty good.
And I think you understand that overtime. Yeah, and I think you can understand overtime. I think it was your 14 major year where you guys played the Kings, lost in overtime, but absolutely dominated the whole game. So once you get to overtime, anything can happen.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So we had your dad on a few weeks ago, and we talked to him about your decision to go to Minnesota, and essentially asking your dad if he had helped with the process and providing information or any guidance or whatnot. What led you to Minnesota? Obviously, there's the family connection, and obviously your dad being from Minnesota. But what really, at the end of the day, really guided you to Minnesota? What really sealed the deal for you to make that decision to go there?
Yeah, we traveled there a lot for a lot of tournaments. So I probably ended up going on 4 visits, like not official, but like just my dad would show me around campus, or we'd go in the Mariucci.
Little incentives, eh?
Sorry?
I said little incentives, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. Come check this out, son. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's take a walk down memory lane.
Exactly. A little pressure there, but but anyway, yeah, I just kind of thought it was really cool. I'd see my dad on the wall and see the history of the program too, and as well as just the facilities were really nice, and it just felt like in my heart like kind of like home for me. So at the end of the day, I just my dad said just like choose whatever you want, and I had some other pretty good options, But yeah, but at the end of the day, I just went with Minnesota, and so it's been good so far.
That's awesome. Hey, so obviously we talked about your first year college, last year junior. So what do you think the biggest difference being a junior hockey player to now being a collegiate athlete?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, college is I'd say it's a little more routine. Like every week is just preparation for the Friday and Saturday game. It's also tough to find a rhythm. So you really got to stay focused in college, especially you're going to class too with teammates and whatnot. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is just probably the guys are stronger. Guys are a lot more, off ice goes into it. So a lot more weightlifting, and guys are also a lot older.
Yeah.
And but it's it's not that much different as far as the style of play too, the coaching styles. Junior was a little more I think freedom, at least in the league I'm playing in the Big Ten. They like to like a lot of teams, especially Notre Dame, they like to build a wall or sit back, and just kind of not many mistakes. So it's kind of really strict system in place. But now from going from juniors where more freedom to this, it's definitely a change too. So it's still fun for sure, but yeah, that part's different.
How cool was it your first year go around and like you just talked about playing at like schools like Notre Dame and all these other big name schools? I'm sure it's pretty cool just to be like, wow, like now I'm not only playing, there's tons of history through all these other programs as well.
Oh yeah, right, for sure. Like especially playing teams, Michigan, Wisconsin, all these teams. It's pretty cool league. Big Ten.
How was the some of the big games going to other people's barns? Like obviously there's a huge experience when you go out there and you're playing in your own facility and you guys have your hometown crowd, which I'm sure is just amazing in itself. But what's it like to go to someone else's area where they have just as much of a crowd and to go play in some of those arenas?
Yeah, I'd say Wisconsin was that was really cool. It was almost like an NHL feeling.
Yeah.
And I think they had 12,000 or something. A lot of fans. So
yeah.
Then Penn State was also cool. Their student section was pretty
chirping
rowdy.
You guys a little bit.
yeah, they had a lot of signs, but you don't
it.
really pay attention. And then just a bunch of teams like that. Just had like the atmosphere. Same with the Michigan. They had it's called the Children of the Yost, and they sit behind the bench and just heckle you.
I love
game. So it's pretty fun and neat traditions kind of.
Probably a lot better when with all that heckling going on. If you get the big W, you can just walk out of there feeling pretty good. Say, all right, guys, have a good one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you touched upon just being a little bit about being a student athlete. What has been the most difficult thing or adjustment in being a Division I student athlete that maybe you weren't fully prepared for that you've had to deal with in your first year?
Yeah, I'd say it's balancing just the school, like waking up early to go to classes, making sure you have to kind of take care of yourself, make sure you're going to bed early, and following, it's more of like a routine schedule as far as wake up, go to class, then go to the rink, then you got homework. So you got to kind of organize your day more around that, and still a lot of emphasis on hockey. So, yeah.
Right on.
I know that, we got to get to it at some point. Your draft day is, a huge process. But what kind of things did you have to go through before you even got to that point? Like, meeting with different organizations and all that stuff. And what was that like? Yeah,
that experience itself was pretty kind of long as far as the meeting with teams. There's throughout the year in Sioux Falls, I'd have to fill out like surveys, and some of them like had a test or whatever, and some of them were really long. So a lot of homework. Felt like a lot of work to do.
Did they ever throw
Yeah.
you like a random left field question? You're like, oh my gosh, dude, like where did that come from?
Yeah. They, you know what? I can't remember exactly,
Yeah.
but yeah, there were some questions, and there's also some teams that were a little more aggressive, I'd say, and then some teams were more just casual conversation. So that was not the combine, going to all the different teams. It's pretty cool to just talk with all the player development guys or the GMs or whatever it was, and it felt like I was saying the same stuff over and over, and I just kept
Broken
talking.
record.
Kind of, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
17 at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
17.
mean, a 17-year-old guy with all these, GMs and stuff like that. I mean, that takes a lot of courage in itself.
Yeah, the first couple I was nervous for, and then I just
Yeah.
felt like I was saying the same stuff. So
So you just kept rolling.
yeah.
So during that process, did you feel strong that Buffalo was one of those teams that was highly interested in you?
Yeah, I had some pretty good conversations throughout the year with them, and they I called them and talked to them as well. And then same thing, the meeting at the combine went well. But to be honest, yeah, I had no idea. But just hearing them call my name was a really cool experience, and I'm glad it's a good organization too. So
as you're sitting there waiting to hear your name, was there a thought at all where you're like, I might have to come back tomorrow, and then that last pick of that first round ends up being you? How relieved were you to hear your name?
Yeah, to be honest, there's a couple times where I'd hear a team come up and I'd think, okay, maybe this is it. My heart would start beating, and then but I never really thought about the next day, even when it was the 31st pick. But yeah, just hearing my name was pretty cool, and then there's a relief, like you said. And then, yeah.
Talked about, go Dino.
Yeah. What's the contact like with Buffalo while you're playing college hockey? Do they contact you? I mean, none of us got drafted, so do they send you some literature on to keep any contact at all, or just do they go watch your games? They already drafted you, but do they still keep tabs on you?
Yeah, there's lots of contact. Usually like weekly, I'll get a text from Eric, or like a call, and he'll just check in. He's their player development guy. And and then I'll have other parts of their staff too. Will come to games, and I think they're at the majority of the games they watched. So it was pretty cool to hear feedback from them too, and have Como follow me around too, and just keep track of me and see how it's going or whatever it is. So.
Did they ever give you any tips? Did they give you any tips on, hey, you could do this a little better, or
yes.
you can,
yeah.
Yes,
for sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Besides your dad, just does he get out to a lot of games? I know he was on the podcast.
Yeah, my dad gets out to quite a bit, actually. I think he watched most of them too, so hear his feedback too. It was nice.
Yeah,
very cool.
Talk about them, giving you kind of some tips and things of how you're going through the year. You look and kind of self-reflect on your own game. What do you think is maybe one of the biggest things that you really need to work on and focus on in your development?
Yeah, I think I need to work on my whole game overall. But if there's one thing I'd really want to focus on, it's the skating part. Skating's really important, and also as you go up in levels, you want to keep it. Let's say you feel you're a good skater, you want to keep your strength. So yeah, just working on the skating. The shot too is really important, and that's what I've been working on. But I think skating is the big part, and just like studying the game too, watching some NHL players and seeing kind of how they think and how they is good too.
So a little bit of go Dave.
No, it's cool to hear, because I think I've watched you play a number of times over the years, and obviously one of the first things that jumps out to me is how good of a skater you are. So just to actually hear you talk about even improving,
yeah, exactly,
even on things that you already do well. I mean, that's a good thing to echo, especially for our youth that we talk to and the parents that we talk to, and try to educate them on how important the skating is and part of the game. And so that's cool to hear someone that's already a good skater talk about how they want to continue
Absolutely.
to improve on that element. So
Yeah, the thing that I was going to ask Ryan is a little bit about, once again, it's like a little self-reflection question. I know you're still young, but what would you tell the younger you, about the hockey journey, starting young and going through it? We asked that same question to Kayla, so I thought it'd be good to have someone like yourself kind of answer that.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'd probably tell myself, work as hard as you can, and make sure everything you do is with a purpose, and same thing with a passion. Make sure you're having fun with it and everything you do, and also, yeah, just work as hard as you can.
Just work. I like
End of the day, yeah.
There you go.
End of the day, it's
Hard
a lot
work
of it.
pays
A lot
off.
of it comes down to, it's like it's how this world kind of works. The harder you work, the more successful you'll be at something. So
Do you feel that your hockey has gone by? I mean, like, you're at least youth hockey now. You're in collegiate hockey. Just went by in a flash. I have a 13-year-old son, and from a dad perspective, I think just it goes fast already. Can you believe what the time is gone, and now you're already kind of embarking on a you got drafted in the NHL, playing your first year of college. But when you look back, did it go pretty quick?
Yeah. Looking back, it went really fast. So
yeah,
always make sure every year, just don't take it for granted, but just work as hard as you can.
absolutely.
So to kind of build off what John had asked you about reflecting back on what you would tell your younger self. When you're younger and you want to play hockey and that's the path you want to go down, as you're younger and you're going through the youth side of it, it's easy to see the sport and the glamour that comes with it, and the notoriety that comes with it. But now that you're into a chapter where it's almost like a job per se, and there's much more at stake. What do you think has been the biggest, I guess, eye-opening thing for the game of hockey that you've seen from when you were a youth, and that dream, to now where it's kind of at it's at your fingertips right now?
Right. Yeah. My goal from when I was young was to play in the NHL, and I'm still not there, and I still have to put a lot of work in to get there. But yeah, I would just focus on kind of staying true, and also remembering your goal, not forgetting it or not getting distracted by it, but just staying focused. And yeah, obviously the game, more to me, it's even from when I was young, it's keeping that same passion, because when you're a kid, all you think about is having fun and just enjoying it. And you actually improve when you're a kid, like this. And then as you get older, there's a lot more questions and a lot more, I guess, thinking. You could question yourself or other things. But when you're a kid, you just dream and you believe in it. So
Awesome.
it's keeping that same attitude. It's tough, but you just gotta remember why you play the game in the first place, and remember also that it's the game gives you a lot of good things as well, like a lot of friendships and other important things, a lot of lessons. So it's just remembering why you play the game, and keeping that same attitude as a kid about with the belief, and also staying humble as well.
Ryan, I have kind of a generic question I always ask, but I also know that you've probably gotten this quite a bit. Come from California, there's a lot of stereotypes. They talk about people being surfers, which actually we just found out you surf a little bit. But nonetheless, is there any kind of things that going through the path, and going to these different places and saying, wow, you're from California. What kind of things has California kind of brought you? I know you get that question a lot.
Yeah, no, California it's a pretty nice place to live with the weather, and But yeah, it just feels like home to me, and obviously we're pretty lucky to have the
people
beach.
surprised that you're from California sometimes when they're like, hey, like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from California. Wow, like I didn't even know that they play hockey like that. Or
Yeah, usually the California kids will think, since you're around hockey, they'll think you're from like Minnesota or something,
yeah,
just because like kind of how you talk. But when you go to somewhere else like Minnesota, they'll know you're from California because you're a lot more laid back, I guess.
have you ever
That's
heard
all.
anyone say that you have a California accent? And you're like, what do you mean California accent?
Yeah, they say just you talk like really laid back. So
See,
probably true.
that's a pure example right there. It's a question of, it's not crazy anymore that California kids are going back there and playing.
Right.
The way he answered it, he didn't give his answer like, oh yeah, they looked at me like I should just be surfing.
Well,
You have another. There's Brandon McManus is on your team as well at Minnesota. He's another California kid as well.
Yeah, he's a little more Minnesota, I'd say.
Yeah,
that's funny.
With his Shattuck years, but yeah, he's definitely got a little California in him.
Because we've always asked that question, and some of our older guests will say, you know, like there was all kinds of, you know, like, wow, I can't even believe you're from California. And then obviously you're younger. So they're saying like, they're kind of somewhat, I mean, it's unexpected, but at the same time, it's not too far off. You're like, dude, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great kids. I mean, having 2 California born players get drafted in the first round, right? Was I correct too? I mean, obviously that's huge. So, I mean, I think it's, in some ways it's putting California on the map in that global spectrum. So like, I'm sure you don't have to deal with some of the other stuff that we've heard on the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So looking back at your junior Ducks, your youth years, even through your high school hockey, what's your proudest memory of that development phase of your career?
Yeah, I think the proudest memory was obviously our 16s team was special, and winning a national championship would have been a cool goal that we wanted to achieve. But like then the day it didn't happen. Sometimes the what you feel is the best team won't always win. So I just say like the memories, just competing for state tournaments is pretty cool. Even every game against the Kings, or even maybe with like the Sharks, or maybe you're going and playing teams from the East Coast or Minnesota or whatever it be, tournaments. All the tournaments were really enjoyable because, like you said, the team from California, like they're looked at differently kind of. But then when you go in and you compete, maybe it's against Canadians, I think all those tournaments were pretty cool to kind of be able to share those moments and compare yourself to against other teams and prove that like California is like
Here.
pretty good. Yeah, pretty good hockey. So
That's awesome. I have a quick question. So obviously draft comes, you know, rookie camp experience. So it's gonna be a 2-part question. 1, what's the takeaway from there? And 2, I know you had a little bit of a shootout goal that got a little social media buzz. What were you thinking on that? And did you think that goal would go a little semi-viral?
Yeah, so the development camp was a really neat experience. Being around players, there's like Olofsson was there, who had some good success in the NHL this year. Thompson was there, and being around these guys and just seeing their kind of drive and dedication to the game and how they're like professionals. So they seen how they treat their body and really disciplined too and hard workers. I guess seeing that was pretty neat. And then the resources too, seeing like we're around nutritionists, athletic trainer, and just hearing their voice and just that I take away. The big thing I take away is that there's a lot of players out there that are competing for the same job, and it's a business too. So you gotta so it takes a lot of work and also good mindset to be able to try and achieve the goal of playing in the NHL. And then the shootout goal was that was I had no idea what I was gonna do, but I know I like to try to move my hands as fast as I can and then do some head fakes too.
A little shake and shimmy and stuff it in. That was it.
So I guess I just got lucky that the goalie bit my head fake. Probably didn't know about me that much, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, at least the one that got you a little highlight on there, huh?
Yeah. Guess some Instagram pages posted it, but
There you go.
Yeah, right on. Well, Ryan, we're at that time where we kind of pose our final question to our guests. And our final question is, if you're going golfing, pick your perfect foursome. So you're part of the foursome. You get to pick 3 other athletes, dead or alive, and not even athletes, just influences that you'd like to spend a round of golf with. Who would they be and why?
Yeah, well, this one would be an obvious one. The first one would be Michael Jordan. I heard about his golf game, and he likes throwing some bets or something. So, but yeah, Michael Jordan. He's a unique athlete. He's really gifted, and he's also carried that mindset too, where it was same thing. It was like really, really dedicated and really, kind of like that, the Kobe mentality or whatever, where here's a lot of like focus and a lot of that stuff. So, so that'd be my first one. And then, probably, I get 3.
Yeah, 3. So you got 2 more.
Yeah, yourself and 2 more.
All right. Probably take Gretzky. Gretzky would be pretty cool. Probably hear that one a lot. But he's called the best player in the game and scored a lot of goals too. So that'd be fun. And then third one, probably take a current player like McDavid or someone. Just kind of learn from him. And yeah.
Cool.
Easy as said and done.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you jumping on here. Give us a little bit of insight on what you're doing day to day and kind of your road to where you are now. And I know our viewers and listeners will definitely get a lot out of this. And again, we appreciate it and wish you all the best in your future hockey journey.
Yeah, thanks again, Ryan. Yeah, I know that you're an inspiration to a lot of the young junior Ducks players out there. It's been huge for the organization and for everyone around us to see, what's happened to you this year. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to continue to watch you, and we definitely hope for great success upcoming years.
Oh, thank you.
I just cut out. Yeah, thank you. We'll be watching for you there in the next few years.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. And to our viewers, to our guests, thanks for tuning in to episode 11 here. We look forward to bringing you more content in the coming weeks with some more special guests. So tune in. Until then, stay safe.